Hey everyone, it's your favorite rogue Chirpy again, and I'm going to show you what macros I've been cooking up in the lab to make crowd controlling enemies while maintaining high DPS not only doable, but so much simpler than you would think if you've never used macros before. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more guides, tips, and tricks to become the best rogue you can be. Remember to check out the Discord too, link in the description. I post all my routes, builds, and much more to help out the Rogue and Mythic Plus communities. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments or message me live on Twitch. I also have dedicated channels in my Discord server for all questions you may have about Rogue, M+, or Raid. Now, on to the video. First, if you don't already know, macros are a way to modify your abilities and or add additional components onto a single button in order to simplify your own action bar and make gameplay smoother. In this video, I'll be showing you what macros I use and explaining the reasonings behind them. So the first thing that you want to do is type /macro in your chat box to get the macro box to pop up. You want to go and create a new macro, find an icon that you want. I usually just stick with whatever icon is of the ability that I'm using, just to make it simpler for me, and name it, and then you're going to get a box like this. All of the macros that I'm using are in the description below and also on the Discord server, so be sure to check that out too. So this one, I have show tooltip blind. This macro, what it does is it lets you use blind on your current target. So if I'm targeting this target dummy on the back here, and I'm not mousing over anything, and I use blind, it'll blind this target. But if I mouse over another target, let's say this target dummy is casting, or this is another mob that's casting, as long as I'm hovering over it, it'll blind that one instead of the target that I'm hitting. So that way I can stop a cast that's on another target, while also maintaining doing damage on this main target. The second macro that I use is this Grapple Hook macro. This one makes it so that way wherever my cursor is where my Grapple Hook will go. Without this macro, you end up having to get another reticle first, so I'll open up my spellbook to show you what the regular one looks like. So you get this green reticle, and then you have to click to get your Grapple Hook out. With this macro, where I use @cursor, all I have to do is just put my cursor where I want it and press the button, and it pulls me directly to it. Each button click saves time, more DPS for each button click that you're saving. Moving on, I have my all-in-one macro. This one is not necessarily so that way you can just slam it and do a bunch of damage. Sure, if you're in a pull that will last 30 seconds to a minute, this macro will get the most damage done in the least amount of time, but you don't always want to send Shadow Dance immediately on pull. You will usually want to send Adrenaline Rush immediately on pull and save your Shadow Dance, that way you can re-enter your stealth bar later once you run out of hidden opportunity procs. So this is more of a button that I use to have all my other buttons on, so I don't have to individually think, oh, I need to press Shift 3 for Adrenaline Rush, Shift 5 for my Shadow Dance. If I know my Adrenaline Rush is on cooldown, I know my R button is just going to send the Shadow Dance. So I can just click R and I'm good to go. That's how I use it. Also with these potions, you can see I have 3 different potions listed on here. These will be used in the order from top to bottom. So I use the Fleeting Elemental Potion of Power in Raid. Those are the conjured ones that disappear when you log out, so those are top priority. Then I have a couple of these weak ones left, and I've started making the Ultimate Power Potions, so that's in my thing as well. The use 13 is your trinket slot, so that it would be my whetstone. I also have an on use on my 14, but I don't always want to use boon whenever I press all these other buttons because boon is a very tricky trinket to use. So you could also change this to use /14 if you keep an on use trinket on your 14, and it will work just the same. I also have my first sap macro here, and this one is kind of just for fun. This is a macro that will sap targets and also pickpocket them in one button. It has a couple cool effects, and one of the cool things that you can do with it is that it can steal appearances of the mobs that you are fighting, or the mobs that you're sapping. So that's kind of cool, just a little Easter egg thing, and you can walk around. For example, if you go into Raid, you can actually use this macro on Kurog Grim Totem, and you could become Kurog Grim Totem for full size and everything. I have another Shadow Dance macro, which is not this. or Shadowstep macro for sap. And this one, you need to be spec'd into Shadowstep to use, but it lets you use sap on targets that can see you. So you need to spec into Shadowstep right here, and any target that has stealth detection, you'll be able to sap it most of the time. Then we go on to the Tricks of the Trade macro, and this macro will, you see me use this in all of my VODs. I never click on the tank, period, to use my tricks. What this one does is it will automatically work with the weakaura, which you can get on my Wago, link in the description, and it will automatically use Tricks of the Trade on a tank if there's one present in your party. So it makes it that much easier. You don't have to click off the tank, you don't have to do a mouse over, it'll automatically use tricks on the tank whenever you click the button. So it makes it a lot easier to go into pulls or use the tricks midway through a pull if the tank's losing aggro, or if you need to B-res the tank and it needs to get aggro back. You don't need to go through a whole process of stopping hitting things, you can just press the macro button and move on. And this is a just for fun macro. This is a macro that lets you view your vault from anywhere in the world. So I'm not at the Mythic Vault, as you can see right here, but if I click this macro, I can pull up what options I have in my vault. So that's just a cool little fun one. And then I have probably one of the most important macros as my last one. This is a focus kick macro. If you're not playing a rogue, you just change this word kick on both of these to whatever your interrupt is called. If you're a mage, counter spell, you know, whatever. If you're a paladin, rebuke. And this will let you do the same thing as what the blind macro did. So that way you can keep on focusing one target, and you can, like, prioritizing damage on one target, but you can kick another one. So if you see, look at my nameplates. This is my main target, but I can set my focus, and these symbols means that that's my focus target. If I use my kick macro right now, which is right down here, it'll actually kick this one. I know it's not casting, so you can't really tell, but that's what happens with that. So this is really, really important. That way, if you're in a big pull, you can interrupt your focus target, which you need to set a keybind for in keybinds, in your options, in there in targeting, and then it doesn't make you have to stop hitting your main target in order to go for the kick on your focus target. So if I'm hitting this target, for example, and I'm going away at this one because this one is the highest priority target, all I have to do is hit my focus kick macro whenever this other one is casting back here. And I'll be able to continue doing damage on the most important target while making sure that no casts go off. So very important to use focus kick macros. If you start using these macros, you're going to find that you end up being able to have a lot more control in your dungeons. You're going to end up doing a lot more damage while doing all the control at the same time. And it's going to upgrade your rogue gameplay just that much more. I hope this video helped you guys out. Remember, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the share button if you want to see more guides, tips, and tricks. And I'll see you guys next time.